Welcome to the channel. My name is Graham Fielder, and today I'm going to give you a tour of my self-converted Sprinter van from the middle of the beautiful Capitol Reef, Utah. So a little bit about the van. It is a 2007 Dodge Sprinter van, and if you know about Sprinters, you know that that means that this is actually a Mercedes-built vehicle. In the 2000s, Mercedes made all the Sprinter vans, so whenever I take this Dodge into the shop, I go to a Mercedes. I'm not going to tell you too much about the car because there's a million videos on Sprinter vans or Transits. Today, I'm focusing about the inside, the design, and why I chose to do what I did. Now, there is one thing I do want to show you, and that is a key investment I made. These all-terrain tires. Great for snow, rain, dirt. I took this van to Alaska last year, had zero issues, and I have definitely taken it into some sketchy situations that I should not have been in. Let's check out the inside. This is a short wheelbase. First thing you see when you open the door is, of course, the essential glow-in-the-dark penny board, ready to go at any time. The penny board is attached to a standalone pantry, and I put this in here because last year when I was living in the van, I didn't use any of the space behind the passenger seat, and it seemed wasteful from a design perspective. When I redesigned the van, I had to add this. Very simple butcher block, cut in half, that's there when you need it, gone when you don't. From inside the van, you can see that it adds so much cutting space. The other thing I love about the pantry is how much storage is underneath. You've got honey, coconut oil, olive oil, peanut butter, fire extinguisher, pots and pans. I have one pot, one pan, that's all I really need. I do have a S-Bar D2 diesel heater. The S-Bar is one of those things that I wasn't sure I was gonna get because it's so expensive, but I can't recommend it enough. Last year when I drove through Alaska, coming back down through Canada, it was so cold and I wanted to stay in Banff and Jasper, but I just had to get south as fast as I could. Had I had the S-Bar, I probably would have stayed. So all that to say, if you can afford it, definitely get it. It's very worthwhile. The other option is just drive south and you'll probably go to a beach or something and you'll be totally fine. All right, so above the pantry, pasta, quinoa, rice, some of the essentials. It just kind of frees up the pantry space. Above it is this carved out root, which I keep my keys on at all times so I don't lose them, and soundproof headphones so I can listen to music whenever I want, especially if you're staying in a neighborhood. It's really nice to be able to listen to music as loud as you want and be bothering nobody. Just behind the cutting board, I've got slippers, climbing shoes, sandals, and that's been so nice just to be able to easily kind of access. Don't have to fool with cabinets or anything. Upper part of the pantry with a child-proof lock is where I keep all of my essential electronics. And at the top is a AC 120 charging unit. Everything comes out of that. That's what charges the drone. And at the bottom, being able to grab a laptop whenever you want and put it back, knowing that it's gonna be safe and secure, is so nice. Before moving on to the kitchen, I want to say one more thing about this pantry. I can put my laptop right here and leave the bed in bed mode. If I wake up in the morning and I want to have breakfast or just not make the bed basically in a day, which honestly happens quite a bit, this works as a phenomenal desk. I have a little chair back here, cheap chair from Walmart. I think it was like 10 or 15 bucks. Just keep it behind the seat and it's perfect. I can have breakfast, work on my stuff late at night while having the bed down. It's a lazy man's dream. In between these two pantries are a blackout curtain. It's actually two blackout curtains because I found that one wasn't quite enough. Only this is the opening to the cab because I always know that whenever I'm inside, nobody can see in and there's no light going out, which is phenomenal, and it's just more safety and security. So right behind the driver's seat, I have all of my clothes hanging up, not my clothes, all my jackets hanging up. That's another great space saver. And behind the driver's seat, I have this 11-pound propane tank, and it's a little bit smaller than the 20, so it fit right in between here really securely. Best part about it is that I can just reach back here at the end of the night and turn it off. So I know everything is safe, everything's secure. That is a huge peace of mind. Propane is really safe, but still, it's nice to be able to turn off your propane at night. Up top, I just store stuff up here. I don't even know what's up here. I have an extra camera, a Polaroid, kind of some wires, and it's just where I store my crap, basically. I will say, this mirror has been phenomenal. I needed a mirror. I needed to be out of the way. That's a great solution for it. One thing I do have up here is this little guy. I dry all my clothes. All I do is hook it up here, string it across the way here, and then boom, you can play the guitar. So moving on to the kitchen, there are dry goods in this pantry. I have an AeroPress Last year I was using a Coleman stove, which took up the entire counter, and I did not have this either, so it was not very practical to cook. It's a pretty basic kitchen. You got a 2-burner propane stove, and this sink, I got the sink at Restore for like 15 bucks. If you've been watching YouTube for a while and seeing all these van life videos, you know that a requirement of living in a van is actually having this fruit basket. I don't think you can legally say that you live in a van unless you have that fruit basket. So bear that in mind. When you sign the form for van life, it's a requirement. The corner are the knives, keeps all the knives organized. These do not fall off when I drive, and I was really worried about that at first. And the ever essential harmonica on the magnetic strip. Up top is more kitchen supplies. I've got some knives and forks, spices, bowls, plates, Pam. Below the stove, 120 volt fridge with a baby lock on it. If you got a fridge, this is super useful. Something to say about the fridge. I would not personally recommend getting a college dorm fridge. This was $100, and I have a huge battery system that can power this fridge. The good thing is it's $100. The bad thing is that it takes up at least 90% of my power. So if I had a more efficient fridge, then I would probably only need half the battery power. Doing the van again, I would recommend that. However, the good thing, I have a total abundance of space. There's a little freezer. Even though it's a power hog, I have been able to power it every single day, and I'm gonna show you the battery system in just a second. Stick around for that. Fridge is great. Food's super dope. Big fan of food. Next to the fridge is the water system. These are all fresh water tanks, 6 gallons each. They feed into a SureFlow water pump. The back here is a water actuator. I did not have a water actuator last year. The sink was horrible. It would jot out just da-da-da-da-da. Another pro tip that I would spend the extra 50 bucks. It's made the whole water system so much better. In the very back here is the soap container. I do have a little soap pump. Now, I'm sure a few of you already know what this is, but for those of you who don't, it is a pee funnel. Yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. I cut a hole in the van floor right behind these jugs, and this tube just goes straight onto the ground. I don't have a toilet in this van, so having that, not having to use bottles, it's good in between. The very important thing that I did was to put a loop in the water drain. The water blocks the smell from the gray water tank because it sits in that little U shape, which is just a bend in the hose, and there's never any smell that comes up here. Totally didn't do that in the first van build, and it's been very nice to not smell the gray water tank. Speaking of the gray water tank, this flows into a 7-gallon tank that's under the bench here. So on the driver's side is where I keep the bedding. Underneath the bedding, I have a few extra cans, and this is the 7-gallon gray water tank. Right there is gonna be hard to see, but that's the ball valve. It's a very simple system. Ball valve, release, ball valve, close back up, and off. Now the gray water also drops out onto the van. And while that might not seem great, all that's in there is water, a little bit of food, and some organic soap that's much better for the environment. Now above the bed, I have a bookshelf, cabinets for clothes. There's not much to it. In the back, we have the bed system, which is a queen size bed that turns into a full desk. I've actually had 9 people sitting around here. I'm not saying that was comfortable. You can fit 5, maybe 6 people in here comfortably, but I love to host people and have friends come over, and you can cook for them while everybody plays board games or has a beer. It's really nice, and you kind of get locked away and you forget that you're in the outdoors. I wanted the batteries to be easy to get to. I also use this space for my dirty clothes. Here I have 4 115 amp hour AGM batteries, all connected in parallel. I have the Renogy charge controller and a 1500 watt inverter, along with a 12 volt fuse panel. So that's kind of everything I need. In addition to all that, the alternator kicks back power so these batteries can be charged while I drive, which is also great if I'm not getting enough solar. Another great add-on is this Bluetooth unit. It basically allows me to have live updates, so whenever I'm going to sleep, I can actually see the exact voltage they're at. That is the battery system. To make the bed, you just take it down and you rest it on these 2 rails right here. There's an extra piece of wood, so that covers the headspace. These cushions move in to form a queen size bed. It's super comfortable, plenty of room, and very easy to take up and down. It's kind of the command station. It's the water pump. This pump doesn't actually do anything, but I can put something on there. The SPAR heater, 3 lighting systems, and the MaxxAir fan remote, which is absolutely amazing. If you're building a van and you've heard that stupid sound before, I can't recommend the MaxxAir fan enough. The MaxxAir fan is more expensive, but it doesn't come open when you're driving down the highway. You can have it open in the rain. I have the Fantastic fan above me here. It's just, don't get it. On this side, I've added a little storage system, notebook, wallet, headphones, cards, of course. Right here are 3 different kinds of plants. and adding livelihood into the van, adding some life into the van. It's a super small space, so anything you can do to kind of liven it up. All right, I'm gonna show you one of the best things about this van. At the end of a long day, you get to open these doors and work with an amazing view. Full disclosure, I've been filming this video for like an hour, so I've actually lost a substantial amount of light. But something else about this van that I absolutely love are the fact that I have 3 different lights. I'm gonna turn these 2 out. One is just a blue LED. On the back here, I have these 2 Edison bulbs behind me. It actually provides the most light in the van, and it's a great reading light. Now, there's one more lighting system that I use. Taking such a small space, being able to transform it with the lighting makes it feel like a home, makes it a bigger space, makes it a more livable space. The strip light that's underneath the cabinets, completely dimmable. Being able to dim these lights and not having your eyes actually see the light bulb itself, I find is really useful to wind down the day and not be blinded by blue light or this video light, which is extremely bright. That's gonna wrap it up for the van tour. Thank you for watching, and please let me know if you have any comments, and yeah, have a great day. I've also been filming this video for at least 2 hours now and lost all the daylight. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm gonna go find a place to park in the dark and cook some food. See ya.